How do you take your tea?
I'm very plain. I take peppermint tea.
Okay.
So anytime I'm on set, they'll like normally they'll be like, "Oh, do you want tea?" And they're like, "Can we get down with peppermint tea?" It's just straight up peppermint. And,
With
but I
honey,
it's the difference when they try to give me mint. I say this is not peppermint.
it's not the
I know
same.
the difference.
I'm curious as to any mentors you might have had in the early stages of your career. Can you speak to any of that?
So I started acting when I was 15 in a theater company called MCC Youth Company, which in
Hmm.
order to act, you had to write your own stuff. So I started writing monologues and spoken word poetry and really finding with them that I had something to say and my voice mattered. So anytime I operated in the world going forward and somebody tried to like feel like strip me of my voice, I always knew that I had a voice and that the things I had to say mattered. I knew the difference between somebody trying to rewrite my work versus edit my work, and I'm like, that's not my voice.
Hmm.
So my mentors from the MCC Theater, the youth company, and there's a woman named Nelijah Sun, and she did a one-woman show called No Child, and it was the first one-woman show I saw. And I remember I wrote journals from when I was a kid. Like I have journals here since I was like 12 years old. And one of them I wrote like, God, please let me be able to do a one-woman show like that, please. And now I have my one-woman show Subverted, which is about the destruction of Black identity in America. And I saw this woman do it, and I said, wow, that's possible. I want to do that. So I count in terms of even inspiration, whether or not we speak on a regular, just the fact that she's overcome to do that and to be successful like
Hmm.
that, I just could imagine. And then Dominique Morisseau, she's also a playwright. And I met her through the MCC Youth Company back in like 2009 or something like that. And over the course of my life and career, we always kind of bob in and out of each other's lives, but she's always right on time. And she always
Hmm.
has something profound to say.
Yeah,
And yeah, this is just a bunch of people, bunch of people.
that's so great. I'm so glad that you've had that kind of support. And because you touched on it, what is your definition of success? What does it look like for you?
That keeps changing, so it's really hard to even say. But I do a lot of vision boards and
Okay.
manifestations. I love them. What I realized was that since I was making them in my early 20s, a lot of it has to do with career. I could look at all of them right now, and everything is career. And now, as I'm about to turn 30 in March,
No.
yeah, I started saying, dang, I didn't put anything about family on there. I didn't, I want a family. I want to get married. I want to have a big house. I want a husband, stuff like that. So success started to feel differently when I was in New Orleans filming Project Power with Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt in a hotel room that was bigger than my apartment, and I was still feeling sad and not
Mm.
understanding why, and didn't really want to tell my family because they're in East New York, Brooklyn, still dreaming, and here I am, essentially having my dreams, and why am I sad? But I
Right.
had to realize that I needed to find what I wanted to do or what I needed that I didn't need anything like earthly from.
Uh-huh.
Acting, I love it, but now it's become how I pay my bills. But what is the other things inside of us that we want to do that we don't need anything from?
Hmm.
And so success to me is like it changes. Success is living your dreams, but also being aligned with your purpose. Success to me is like meditating and like making it a ritual to meditate and journal and learn yourself. And success to me is um, obtaining unconditional love, not in terms of just in terms of other people giving it to me, but how I operate in the world moving forward. Because if you give love out, like it just has to come back, right? That's how the universe works. So
Right.
and then I have love for my career, and so if I have love for my career, then I believe my career will love me back.
Feedback. Yeah. I mean, it certainly seems like it is doing that, which is wonderful. So
Yes.
exciting for you. Um, What would you say, I mean, we've all been through this really difficult and tumultuous year, and I'm curious as to what your self-care habits might be. Maybe you develop new ones. I mean, you've talked about journaling, you've talked about meditation. Is there anything else that you've been able to develop in this past
Yes.
whenever? Hmm.
Actually, I started doing divine feminine baths.
Oh,
So
wow.
I love
Yeah.
lavender. So I have lavender bubble, right? Right. And I have my oil diffuser is lavender. Everything's pretty much lavender. I have candles and I'll just listen to like gospel, or I made like a divine feminine playlist. And
Mm.
so I would just kind of take the time to be in the bath and listen to that music and just spend time with myself in that way. That was pretty new for me, but I love it, and it's become a part of how I like it became a thing where I hadn't like taken baths since I was a kid. You know, you're just jumping in showers and stuff, and then all of a sudden now I do baths so much often. It's just like a nice quality time with
Oh,
yourself. I love
I
that.
love that. I'm totally, yes, yes. Fine, feminine baths. I love it. All right. Do you miss theaters? Is there anything that you miss from, what life has become now?
Absolutely. I mean, if life, I mean, it also taught us so much, right? Like we have different values now, and we're able to appreciate things a lot more, I think. But I miss that I'm not able to do, press for the movie for Judas and the Black Messiah with my cast and my,
Yeah.
because we really spent we went bowling together. We went to the movies. We went roller skating, and so when we were coming to an end of filming, it was really sad. But we thought, oh, don't worry, because we'll do press soon and we'll be able to be together in the hotels and the wherever it was that we thought we were going to be, and now we're all on Zoom. So I can't wait to be.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to party as soon as we get out of this and it's safe. I think we'll have a premiere for Judas and the Black Messiah anyway.
I hope so, because that's a film that definitely needs a theater environment, like the surround environment to like really take it in, for sure. Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. I'm curious as to sort of what you envision. Like, is there uh, like a moment, a character that you want to play? Sort of like what is on the horizon from you, and maybe that's just what it is now. I understand things change along the way, but is there anything on the horizon for you now that you kind of have your eyes set on?
Well, I've always when I started out acting, and I was fortunate enough to do David Simon, HBO, and it's very heavy content. But I always said, and then people were gravitating towards me and heavy content, and I said, okay, Dom, don't get like wrapped up in what people like for you,
Yeah.
because you're learning yourself, so they're learning you too. And I always, when I wanted to act, I always like loved I Love Lucy, and I
Mm,
love New Girl, Sister, and like that, the light like comedy kind of thing. So I definitely wanna do that. I want to do fantasy. There's Children of Blood and Bone, that
yeah.
trilogy book, and I'm like, dang, if I could be a part of that, that'd be a dream. And that way I'm aligned, right? I'm aligned spiritually with the things that I'm learning about myself, about my people, about our people. I'm getting to act and have magic and keep inspiring myself as an artist, but also just take Black culture on another ride.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really exciting. And what about things like, I mean, you journal. Have you ever tried to write like screenplays, things like, or
Oh
novels, anything
yeah.
like that?
I have my one woman show Subverted, which is
Right.
about the destruction of Black identity in America, and I wrote that in college because a lot of times at Pace University I was the only Black person in my class, and
Mm,
I was in a sociology class, and this white boy said if African American males in low income communities dressed normally, they wouldn't be stopped by the police. And I was
mm,
like, ooh. And I like looked around and nobody could advocate with me because nobody came from where I came from. And I knew that I had been put in this position. A lot of people don't get to go to private universities. And every semester, I didn't know if I was going to be able to go because of money. Like one
yeah.
time I did poetry on the train for money. So I
Yeah.
knew the importance of of me having gotten to the place where I would need a thesis to graduate. So I thought it was really important that I told the story of people who come from neighborhoods like mine. And so writing is always, and like I said, I started with the MCC Youth Company, and so writing and acting have always gone hand in hand. And I feel fortunate that in my acting career in terms of film, like Shaka King, director of Judas and Black Messiah, allowed me to write the poem that she shares in the movie. And so in that way, it feels like alignment. Like I'm not supposed to leave writing behind just to act. They can go hand in hand as they always went for me. Before I got an email about Shaka wanting me to do this role, I was reading a book called A Taste of Power by Elaine Brown, who was a Panther in the Black a Panther in the Black Panther Party in Oakland chapter. And I was writing my own kind of Romeo and Juliet Black Panther Party esque anthology series called Gwendolyn and Sekou. So I'm always writing. I started writing a novel during quarantine called On Behalf of My Country. And it was about a black girl from Brooklyn who goes to Greece and she falls in love with a refugee from Syria. And it was just kind of the idea that we are all connected. And it might seem a lot of times we think people are so far away from us, that experiences are so far away, but at the core of them, maybe they're not so much. And that's like the novel. Writing poetry, book. Yes, I'm always writing, always gonna be writing.
That's so exciting. I'm excited to see more in that regard from you. Okay, so finally, because we didn't get an opportunity to show off our little teacups here,
What does your cup say?
mine says best director ever.
Love
My
it.
girlfriend. Go
Mine is
ahead.
plain. Mine is plain. It's
All
just
right, and
it got
you
a
have your
nice little texture to it though. And I also
nice,
had cupcakes.
very nice.
Yes.
All right,
So
you came prepared to our tea party.
yes, I was a tea
Very
party
well.
to get prepared.
I don't know if people cheers for tea, but we'll cheers anyways. And certainly cheers to you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on all the accomplishments thus far. And good luck with everything, Judas and Black Messiah. Like, you are such a pivotal person. I mean, that's one film that you've done. You've done many others, but in this film that is the most recent of your work, it's so great to see your representation there and how your authenticity glows. And I'm really proud of you, sis.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.